Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We can hear you, that's fine.
Hello.
Much, Kate, we can see you. Could you tell?
Yay.
Yeah, we can hear you, great. Tanya?
Hello.
Tanya, Amy, could we check the sound and video, your video, please? Oh, yeah, we can see you.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you, great. Amy, we can see you, we can hear you, absolutely great.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Kate.
Hi.
I don't know how to blur my background. I think you can, there's a setting where you can blur the background.
No worries.
Yes, you need to go into the settings.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. That's
I mean, there's a little bit of an echo. Just speak again. There's a little bit of an echo on your voice.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, that's better. Maybe it was just someone else's device, not you. It's not
Maybe
you.
it's like in the background.
Could it be my echo?
Yeah, that's fine. Martin, please, let's check the sound. No, we cannot hear you.
Is this recording or just a mistake?
Yeah, we will record it, but we will cut this part.
Yeah.
I can hear Maria several times. There's echo of Maria and myself as well. Oh. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Heather. There's Heather from South Africa. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. You can meet some teachers. Kate is currently the class 2 co-teacher. Kate in the right-hand corner there.
Okay.
And Amy is the kindergarten teacher on the left. And everybody else want to introduce yourselves. Duncan? Duncan is the...
Nice to meet you, Heather.
Yes, likewise, Duncan.
Looks like it's nice and chilly where you are.
It is much colder than in Cyprus.
Whereabouts?
Cape Town, we're about 14 degrees.
Right. It must be similar to Mossel Bay. We've got two teachers there, and they were saying it's freezing. Anyway, sounds lovely.
Yeah. You all look summery.
It's very hot in Cyprus. Very hot.
Yeah.
Most of us have the AC on because it's so hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I always find it feels hotter here in Cyprus than the temperature says. Temperature's only 35, but it feels like 40, you know. I think it's the humidity. It's quite humid, you know.
Okay. All right. I assume the classrooms are going to have aircon as well.
Yes, all the classrooms do have AC. We definitely made sure of that. Yeah, no, that's kind of, I think it's part of the requirements. I don't know where Martin is. He'll tell us, but I think it's one of the requirements inside because it just gets so hot. And in winter, it also gets cold enough to actually use the AC for a little bit of heat as well on some days, but it's not as essential as the winter one, the summer one. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I can see from one of the photographs it looks quite dry and, you know, hilly, scrubby.
Yes, in summer it's not a pretty place, but then once the rain comes, it turns into this beautiful grassland, and it's just everything's green. So we love that when the rain comes.
Yes,
So
hi,
there's some
hi
grass.
everyone. Hi Heather, hi everyone. Good to
Hello,
see everyone.
Alexander.
Hi. Tanya, can I ask you a question? On your part, so now we included on the picture of Heather as a suppose the class 1 teacher, right? Are you going to introduce also who is teaching which class as a lead teacher at the same part of the presentation as well?
I wasn't planning to. I was just going to talk about the curriculum for each grade, but I can if you would like me to.
Yeah, I think probably it would make sense just to, well, why not? I mean, we don't have pictures for that. We don't have slides for that.
Well, it might be breaking news. It might be breaking news about Fleur because that's quite recent.
We have a great call today with
I suppose
parents.
those parents already know.
Yeah, everybody's already know. So I think it would make sense to put the dots on the i's and just say who is doing what, and so people, because also we have Maria. I think Maria is not joining us, the class 2 teacher. She's not joining us for this call, right? I suppose.
She's traveling today. Yes.
She's traveling. Okay, so maybe we should say that, dear class 2 parents, maybe I think we should organize a class 2 Zoom meeting to get to know each other with Maria. So Maria knows her class as well at a certain point, right? Because classes 3, 4, 5, teachers are known, everything is fine. But for class 1, class 2, there's this new situation, and usually parents are interested to know who is going to teach, what is the background of the person. So it's great that Heather, you are with us today. Thank you very much for joining. I suggest just to make one focused call then for Maria as well, class 2. And perhaps you could also introduce, like mention the Amy and Alena as leaders of the kindergarten program in Palodia, and Carol in Periklisha, right? Correct?
Yes, sure. Amy, you might have to just give me a gap there before you start talking, so I can just say who the kindergarten teachers are.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Marcin. Please, could you try once again? We need to check your sound because we cannot hear you.
Yeah.
No. Maybe you can try to do it without any devices.
One, two, three sound check. Okay.
Yes.
It was a jack of the microphone. Okay.
Oh, great. So we have lots of parents now. I think we need to wait just for a few minutes and we will start.
Maria, are you going to show presentation from Canva, or you uploaded a PDF file?
I uploaded. Yes, I will share my screen just in 1 minute.
Well, I think I made a couple of little tweaks. Maybe can you save one more file, the recent version of the file?
No worries. Yes.
Okay,
I will
perfect.
do it right now.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. And I suppose when we present, we should put video on, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think Katerina's quickly, she was still driving. So she's
Yeah,
probably
Katerina unfortunately
getting-
is driving to the hospital with her husband, but I hope she will have a chance to join.
Oh dear. Is there maybe a chance that you won't, Maria? Is it something urgent? I don't. Let me just check if she tried.
Yeah, I spoke with her.
I'm back. I'm on. Everything is under control. So thank you for your
Thank you.
support.
Is George okay?
He still stayed in the hospital now with relatives. They need to make some X-rays, but I hope everything's gonna be fine.
Oh, what happened?
There's some arm issue.
Oh, shame. Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
All right, but he's
Yeah, yeah, we can see you, we can hear you. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock in the evening, so we could start. I'm really glad to see all our parents and all our teachers here. And today we are glad to present our online open day about our Waldorf program. Let me share you our deck. Could you see it? Is everything all right? Yeah. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, looks good.
Yeah, great. So I think we could start. The main part of our meeting will take around 1 hour. So we will discuss all our main news, main points. We are recording our meetings, so we will share the records via emails and via our chats to the current parents. So we could keep the Q&A section to the end. So if you have any questions, please, you can write it down in a special section with a question, and we will answer it in the end of our meeting. So my name is Maria. I'm Marketing and Parents Relationship Director of the Island Private School of Limassol, and I am really happy to open our today's meeting. So Alexander, please, could you introduce our huge team today?
Yeah, absolutely. In first instance, hi everyone. For those whom we haven't met yet, so my name is Alexander Skuratov. I'm the founder of the Island Private School. It was called before the Waldorf School of Limassol. We'll talk about this, the name change and everything in a minute. And I'm happy to introduce our team presenting today. We have quite a big team today. First, I would like to start with Duncan Variable. You can see him on, yeah, and Duncan will make an introduction about himself in the relevant part of the presentation. Duncan has joined us as the head of school, and he will explain his role and his background in a minute. Duncan comes from straight from Scotland, and before Duncan was worked at schools at Greece and South Africa. So Duncan, welcome. And then I'd like to also introduce Tania Strauss, and you know Tania, some of you for a few years already. And I'm glad to say that we have an internal promotion that Tania become a pedagogical director of the Waldorf program. And but also Tania will continue teaching her class 4 this year. Also, we have here Martin Artunyan, our Chief Operating Officer. Martin will also introduce himself later. We have here Heather Gibbs. Heather is joining us as a class 1 teacher, and again will be part of the presentation where Heather will introduce Heather in more details. Emmy with us here today as well. Emmy is our kindergarten teacher. You know Emmy from the last year, most of you. And Emmy also present part related to the preschool, early years. Katya Semyonova is our new team member. This year we're making a very special, unprecedented afternoon program, and Katya His responsibility is actually to manage, to organize and manage the extracurriculum program that will be taking place in the afternoon. And we have Kate with us. Kate's been with us for last year already, and she'll continue this year as well in our team, working in the primary school. And Katerina Serikova is also with us. You know her from last year's as well. Hi, Katerina. Katerina is working in the administration. And I think I mentioned everyone who is presenting or who is in our team today. And if not, please let me know. I think here we go, right? Okay, then great. Let's start. And I think Maria, we're recording this video just for some parents who may not join today.
Yes, and we will share the records. Yes, we will share it. Yep.
All right, so I'd like to spend a few minutes to make an introduction about our, to our school, what we do, and how things are evolving. As you know, before we used the brand name, the Waldorf School of Limassol, and this year it's a tremendous change to what we do and to the whole organization, to the whole school, and we're very excited about this. As we're growing substantially in, as an organization, and we're adding an additional curriculum stream. In addition to Waldorf School or Waldorf stream, we're going to have International Baccalaureate program as well. That will be a sister program running in parallel. But we remain the international English-speaking school, progressive school, and but now we become polysystemic. Maria, we can go on the slide, please. It's well, our mission is to, well, you can read what is written, what we have here on the slide, but I would like to say that our mission, why we're doing the whole thing, is to make sure that our children are prepared for life, prepared for the rapidly changing world, where they can apply their knowledge and skills. What is important? Skills to realities of this fast-moving, fast-changing technologies. For example, there's a research that says that we should expect that our children will probably change 3 or 4 professions in their lives, not jobs, but maybe from IT to finance to to maybe arts. So this is quite possible. And to do that, you cannot just memorize facts like they do in British schools or in Russian curriculum schools or Greek curriculum schools. When you need the skills, you need the skills to be able to learn new things. You need skills to be to create new things, to collaborate with peers. And Maria, maybe on the next slide. That's what that's this concept of the whole school. So we are focusing on we are progressive education school, the only one of its kind in whole Cyprus, as we're the only Waldorf school in Cyprus, of course, but also with this emphasis on progressive education, like we have with adding International Baccalaureate as a sister program. It's also part of the progressive education concept. And over the last few weeks, our colleagues from Waldorf interacted a lot with the colleagues from International Baccalaureate. A lot of interesting findings. Of course, there are differences in the programs, quite substantial ones, but also there are some interesting parallels and interesting ways how we connect between these two programs. So I'm sure there will be a lot of exciting discoveries going forward. So that's why actually we changed the name. So we introduced a new name, the Island Private School, because it will serve as the umbrella name for both the Waldorf and International Baccalaureate program. And as you know, we're getting our independent license, so it will be a fully established school in Cyprus with own management team and with the ambition to grow it for the years to come. Next slide, please. Talking about the curriculum, we're going to have 2 curriculum streams, as we discussed. The blue boxes, this is the Waldorf school, the Waldorf curriculum, which we are going to continue growing. And on the orange ones is the new things coming up. The IB, International Baccalaureate, starting with the preschool from 3 years old and up until graduation. One thing I think is notable for this meeting, and we can let's discuss it going forward as well if we need to. We've added the International Diploma Program, IB Diploma Program for classes 11 and 12. That was done after very thorough research in the field, putting the child in the center of the whole thing, in the whole program, the whole concept. To be able to, so the IB program for 11-12 will enable our students to take the exams in Cyprus and apply based on the results of these exams into leading universities worldwide. Waldorf schools do not have such a developed examination system that is recognized by most universities in the world. IB does, and there's quite a smooth link and connection between or transition from Waldorf to the IB. We've seen examples and studied examples of this, how it's done in other countries. Like, for example, in Australia, this is what Waldorf schools have been doing, and this connection has been proven to be successful. So from Waldorf, joined IB, got the IB diploma, and enroll into Stanford, Harvard, and other universities worldwide. So that's the goal. That's the goal that we're pursuing, and that's how we model and design the whole program. But I'd like to say a couple of things here as well on this slide, is that with the new colleagues joining us in the IB, we also reviewed the current enrollments. By the way, I'd like to say that we expect from 400 to 500 students in September, and it should be quite substantial growth. I mean, I'm talking about the whole school, including Waldorf and the International Baccalaureate. As you know, it's quite a big step up compared to where we were back in May this year. Probably we will grow like 3 times or 4 times since the previous levels. So it's quite a substantial scaling up. But the way the enrollments go looks like more like a pyramid. So we have a very solid foundation, big foundation. We're going to have 5 kindergarten groups this year. 5 kindergartens only on the new site, plus 1 kindergarten in Paraklisha. So we will have 6 kindergarten groups, or 6 preschool groups this year. We're going to have 3 classes, 1A, 1B in International Baccalaureate, then class 1 in Waldorf, and 3 classes 1, 3 classes 2, 3 classes 3. Then it goes like 2 classes 4, 2 classes 5, and then we go to class 6, 7, 8, and 9. These would be the International Baccalaureate classes this year. Interestingly, that we added class 9, we looked at the the enrollment shows that actually will be quite a nice, well-rounded group of children. From 15 to 20 children we expected class 9. So that's the International Baccalaureate. But what I'd like to mention here, as we have discussion here, we spoke to parents of class 6, like the incoming class 6 of Waldorf program, and incoming classes 7, 8. And you probably know that 7, 8 has always been like a mixed age class, where children were, some of them were 11, some were 13, quite a big gap between the age groups. And in these classes, the number of children was historically quite low, like from 5 to 6, 7 children for each of the group. And we had a conversation with parents. We proposed them to join, for the children in those classes, to join the International Baccalaureate program for the benefit of the children, because we expect quite big class sizes in the IB curriculum. 12, 15 children in class 7, class 8, class 6. So it will be a tough space for children. Like, it will be a bigger group for socializing, for interaction, than just having a small little group for this. But so just to summarize, this September, we're going to have for Waldorf only, we're going to have 2 kindergarten groups in Palodia, 1 kindergarten group in Paraklisha. We're going to have classes from 1 to 5 in Waldorf program. And next year, we're going to see as class 5 is quite good one, decent size. So it potentially up to class 10, continue up to class 10. but I think it was worth mentioning this as we set the scene for the whole discussion today. Thank you, Maria. Let's go. Okay, Waldorf program. Those who have been with us, actually, there are some parents who are with us for many years already. And back in 2015, there were first steps that we made with establishing a kindergarten groups. And then the school was opened in 2017. At that time, we were only 8 children for the first year. And now we're talking about 400 to 500. So a crazy trend of scaling up. But we keep to the same like we're accredited Waldorf school. So we've passed through the accreditation process for the Swiss and German regulators of Waldorf schools in Europe, and we've got our accreditation, and we're happy to maintain and keep up, the high standards of how the education shall be done in a classical way. Next one, Maria. Well, talking about Waldorf, I'm a Waldorf parent, and I have been for, I guess, almost like 10 years, because our older daughter, she went to Waldorf kindergarten back in Moscow, and we moved to Cyprus, and then we started the school. So what I find fascinating about Waldorf is that it's a holistic education system that develops not only the head, the brain, the intellectual capacity, IQ, academics, that all is in there, but it's also the heart, the spiritual part, and the hands. Children do a lot of things with their hands, and actually another interesting announcement that we will set up. One class will be dedicated to woodworking. So we're going to have a woodworking equipment. We'll buy tools, and some of you may know that in Limassol there's a great woodworking shop here or afternoon program called Wood Wizards, and we're going to cooperate with them, and these guys are amazing. So my son went to their classes woodworking, and he's just he loves it. So that's about hands, just this aspect of hands, just one example. We'll have a lot of other things as well. And when I traveled around the world, I've been, for example, this is the map of San Francisco, California. And some of you know that also I'm in IT business, so I'm a co-founder of IT startup in Silicon Valley, which we're now growing with my partners who actually live there. So I visited all these schools and many other schools around the world, and I was very impressed to see that students are confident. They know what to do in their lives. They show high academic achievements and results. They enroll to and get accepted to University of California, Berkeley, Stanford, and other leading universities in the US and worldwide. So I'm, as a father, it is a very harmonious environment for children to thrive in Waldorf, but also there's clear evidence that Waldorf students can achieve high academic results, which personally I find very important as a father and as also part of the team as well. Next, Maria. As I said, we're also adding a new program, International Baccalaureate program this year. It's even a bigger movement or educational system in the world. There are more than 5,000 IB schools in the world, and we will be the first one who would cover in Cyprus, that would cover the age groups from preschool to primary to secondary school. Yeah, very excited about this as well. And we feel that although again there are differences to Waldorf, but why we're doing this is because we feel like it's a sister program. It's philosophically and by values it's very similar, and they just do things different ways. But I'm sure we'll find interesting ways to collaborate as well. There will probably be some joint school-wide events and sports events, and parents will connect as well. So we have a lot of great expectations about that. Next. Let's talk about our new school site. What you see on the slide is what's coming up. Now we are at final stages of the construction process. And you see that the school designed in a way that there are three yards, internal yards, one for primary school, one for secondary school, one for pre-primary. We also have sports facilities, of course, by the big administration building, reception area, and also we will have a dedicated area for hot meals. So we expecting to serve hot meals to our children and team members as well. So that's coming up, and it's quite an ambitious project. And also, when you visit the site, you'll see stunning views from the school, because there's a big valley, a huge valley in front of us, and I think the views and amazing. So welcome to visit us shortly. We will invite everyone a bit later. Maria, maybe next slide. And some parents ask, hey, what is there? I mean, we see your drawings, but is it real? This is the real picture of a classroom, which is already up there. So
yeah, I made it today. It's the fresh one.
Yeah, and you see actually through the windows the scenery around us. There's no factories, no offices. It's really, I think that's the ideal spot for a Waldorf, for any school, but for Waldorf school in particular, because Waldorf schools and we're very connected to nature, to environment, and will be a lot of, you can go hiking straight from the fence. So just cross the fence and you go on a hiking trip to the river or to the dam. So just will be a lot of nature exploration activities, and it's really a fantastic place to be for a Waldorf school. And also it's there are many more classrooms, of course, and Maria, maybe next page you can show that. Yep. Yeah, so this is again picture from today, from this morning, or maybe a few days ago. So you see
no, it's fresh one.
Fresh one. Fresh. Okay, yeah. So you see, like as you know, probably this project will get on into the Guinness Records book for maybe Cyprus, maybe not only Cyprus. To build a school over 5 months. Some people will say you are crazy, but we're doing this. And the way to do that is to use the modular school building technology. And you see these buildings that are already on our site. They're already equipped. They're already erected, and we're going to move in furniture with next couple of weeks. So it's all the processes are organized. You see some toilets already assembled on site. Will look a bit more beautiful. It's still work in progress to some extent, but just wanted to show you that it already exists, and some additional work still needs to be done, mainly in the areas of making the site beautiful. We're going to put now imported toys, I mean, for climbing structures, and that are on the way, and grass and sport facilities, and internal pavements and road systems. So these things are still needs to be completed, but we've signed up an agreement with the largest construction company in Cyprus called Seifield. Actually, they're building this highway next to our school. And they assure us, and they will actually not just assure us, but we will work on the timetable to deliver the school on time, and they are committed to the milestones that we discussed, agreed with them. So the school shall be ready in September. Next slide, Maria. And well, that's what you saw in pictures, but this is the how it's going to look like when we install, we put up the plants, trees. Actually, we're spending just for the plants 50,000 euros for flowers, trees, and just I see Maria's look. And the whole project exceeds 10 million euro, just to have an idea how much we're putting into this project. So it's not just a dodgy something out there. It will be one of the greatest schools in Cyprus for sure. And so that's only this phase, but Mary, maybe you go to the next phase as well. That's what's happening with next 2 or 3 years from opening of this school. We've already acquired land, and we're going to build even a bigger school for from 1,500 to 2,000 students. So it will be probably definitely one of the largest school sites in Cyprus. I'm very excited about that. We're going to have swimming pools, like covered sports facilities, volleyball, basketball, canteens, libraries, lecture halls, and the goal, the concept is that it will be too boring for us just to make another school in Cyprus. What we're doing an educational research center, research R&D center, I would say, the place where we're going to organize international conferences. We'll organize teacher training programs to invite teachers from everywhere in the world to learn how to teach Waldorf, how to teach international baccalaureate, and we're going to make a lot of parent education events there as well. So for us, it's a actually lifetime project to make something substantial in the education space, so that our children and grandchildren will remember such an interesting project. Not just more pictures about this upcoming site, which is coming later. I saw some comments now in social media. I'd like to show you that there will be no it will not be disturbing the current campus that we're completing in September, because the way the landscape goes, the construction will be at another piece of land, which is not far away, but it is at a distance, and it will not be interfering with the education process for the school that we're opening this year. So we'll just be school next door. Our team, again, another unbelievable development here. You can see how many flags here on this slide. That's the team members coming from all these countries. And this year, this September, will be about 100 team members, including teachers, administration, operations. So it will be probably the team size of Heritage or Follies, and as they publish their records on their website. So we're investing in the team way ahead of the enrollments, and we're confident that our school will grow in enrollments and bypass other schools eventually as well. So we're investing in the team right now, and you see, like, it's a very international, from most continents, like from US to UK to South Africa to Asia, to Philippines, to Croatia, etc. Of course, we'll have teachers from Cyprus as well. And one more interesting thing this year as well, you might see that also in social media, that we are going to have English language is a language of teaching in our school, and all the communication and the language of teaching instruction will be English. We're going to have Greek language as well. And we've used to have, and we're going to keep teaching children Russian language and literature. But this year, we also provide an opportunity for our students to choose Ukrainian language if they want. That we decided to do that in the context of this humanitarian crisis happening these days. So there would be such an opportunity for children to choose a Ukrainian track instead of Russian language track. And also going forward, it's not for this September because it will be too overwhelming to our children, but we will introduce other foreign languages as well as optional electives and we'll have already a list of likely languages, like from Hebrew to Chinese to German, French, Italian, Spanish, etc. So that's coming a bit later, but that's also in the plan. Slide. And here's the team introduction. So actually, we've met with some of the parents, and I just want to say a couple of words that my background is the investments and finance. I have now two major areas of focus. One is the school, and it takes 99% of my time over the last 5 or 6 months. And the other part is IT. So I'm an IT entrepreneur, co-founder of this company called Prodly. It's a US startup. But also, my background is in the investment. So I was a director of a big investment fund, Baring Vostok, and also Carlyle Group, which is one of the biggest private equity venture capital firms in the world. I was also a shareholder and board member of Ettalon Group, which I took public in London Stock Exchange, and $2 billion. So I have made some projects, and I'm in Cyprus for more than 7 years, as I said, with 3 children. They're all students in our school. And in terms of education, I've completed some programs in Harvard and Harvard Business School and University of California, MIT. So yeah, so I'm part of the IT community of Cyprus, and those who are in IT would be happy to connect and discuss some projects together. And I'd like to introduce on the next slides our management team. This is not all of the team, of course. As I said, we'll be about 100 team members in September, and our operations team will be more than 20 people. So it's a big, big leap from where we were in spring. But for this presentation for today, I'd like to introduce my colleagues and maybe hand over to Duncan to say a few words about yourself.
Thank you, Alex. Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you for coming along this evening. It's really wonderful to be able to share this event with you. Just briefly, my role is a whole school position, and that is headmaster of the Island Private School. Now, essentially, it just means that I'm responsible for the two curricula that we run, the IB and of course tonight's focus, which is our Waldorf program. So there was an interesting fact there from Alex about how many times our children are planned to change professions. I've only changed professions twice. My first profession was in finance in London, and my education background has always been spent in schools that follow a progressive and internationally minded and importantly child-centered curriculum. So I think what makes the Waldorf and our Island School unique is that our learning really focuses on the development of the child. We look to empower social change through education, and that holds true for all of the programs that we offer. We really value human relationships and, of course, all the skills that go along with that. Teamwork, collaboration, and I think most wonderfully, we see that our school is a genuine learning community, and we absolutely rely on close relationship with our parents, our staff, and all the pupils that are here. So I think that any teacher that works in the school or a curriculum that follows those principles knows that there is really just no other way to learn. And I'm really thrilled to be able to lead a school that embraces these principles. So, in addition to that, I'm passionate about educational research and outdoor learning. And so I'm really thrilled at the location of the new site, of course, that we have. But really, I think that's enough about me. You'll hear a lot about the curriculum tonight from our pedagogical director shortly, and of course, all of our wonderful Waldorf teachers. So enough for me, thank you.
Thank you, Duncan. And Tania, maybe you can also briefly introduce yourself.
Sure, I will be speaking a little bit more later on, but many of you know me. I saw some familiar names on the participants tonight, so I'm really, really glad to see everyone here, and many new names that I don't recognize. So welcome to everyone who's interested in Waldorf and doesn't know much about it. I hope that you will find the information that you're looking for. A little bit about me. I've been in Cyprus for about 3 years now with Waldorf School of Limassol, which is now the Island School. I'm very proud to be part of the school and this exciting project. It's been an absolutely life-changing experience for me. My background is a little bit more in the sciences and also in drama and English. And then I became a Waldorf teacher as well, and also familiar with some of the other curricula, which I think gives me a good overview of how we can all merge and work together, and all in the best interest of our precious children. And I think that is definitely what is the focus of the school in general, and especially of the Waldorf program, as you all know. So thank you very much for joining us, and I'll hand over to, I think, Martin. Yes.
Thank you very much, Tania. Good evening, dear parents. My name is Martin Arutunyan. I've been living in Cyprus now almost for 10 years. I have, basically, I'm living in Cyprus with my family and 4 children. 2 of them are graduating next year. The other 2 are going through the primary and secondary school. For those of you who know me, I've been running operations of Waldorf program during the last academic year, and absolutely thrilled to be part of this wonderful team of my colleagues running the large-scale operations of the Island School. And our team will make everything possible and impossible to run this operation smooth and provide the proper support, convenience, and the level of safety for our children, for your children, and for our staff members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin.
I think that's my slide. Yes, can I go?
Yeah, sure.
So yes, so we're going to tell you a little bit more about Waldorf. For those of you who don't know, and obviously our existing parents are more familiar, about 103 years ago, the first Waldorf schools started in Europe. It's, as Alex said before, it's a holistic type of education, a system that supports the child through physical, emotional, and intellectual development. Each aspect of our curriculum is carefully chosen and introduced to the child at the appropriate stage. And it boosts the confidence of the child and allows the child for individual development to happen according to the strength of that child. And I think you will find those of you who know and who can see how your children are supported by the Waldorf curriculum and the Waldorf teachers, the whole system, will be able to confirm that that is actually a reality. Alex painted a picture of a very big school that we're suddenly now a part of, but we will also try to maintain the warmth and the integrity of the school that we've already established. We're going to now hear from Katerina, and she will tell us a little bit about what makes Waldorf special. Most of you know her. And then we will also have Amy speaking a little bit about kindergarten and language teaching. We have Kate with us this evening. And then I will speak a little bit more about primary education and what you can expect in each class year as we go through the Waldorf primary years. So over to Katerina.
Thank you very much, Tania, and everyone. Welcome to our open day. It's great to see so many people joining and interested in our idea. I would like to start my part with what makes Waldorf special. So this is the quote from Rudolf Steiner. The heart of the Waldorf method is that education is an art. It must speak to the child's experience. To educate the whole child, their heart and will must be reached, as well as the mind. I think it's a brilliant quote that really describes the concept of Waldorf education. And we can move to the next slide, please. So I will just highlight some points that really stand out to me and which really make Waldorf education different. So we at Waldorf, we're educating the whole child. What does it mean? The Waldorf teachers transform education into an art, and it educates the whole child, involving their hands and hearts and heads. Each lesson offers opportunities for students to feel and experience the subject themselves. It is structured and designed in this way. So what does it do? Students connect to the lesson in a deeper level. For example, instead of learning math facts at the desk, students go to the garden and they calculate how many rows of plants may be planted. So everything they learn has to be applied, you know. For example, when children are learning about early civilization or farming, they actually go and visit the farm and they observe the animals. They learn to feed and milk the goats. They go river canoeing. They explore archery. So they really connect to the subjects that they're teaching. And of course, as you know from existing families or children who experience this way of learning, these experiences are unforgettable and children really carry them in their hearts for many years to come. So hands-on activities are an important vehicle for accomplishing schools' curriculum objectives. We really use that a lot. Another interesting concept that really stands out at Waldorf is introducing the right thing at the right time. What does that mean? It means that the child is going through several developmental stages and phases of the childhood, which on each stage the child is developing certain skills and certain abilities, and Waldorf pretty much goes in line with that. And they help children develop at that specific point, helping them learn what they need to learn at that specific age. For example, from the birth until the age of 7, children are developing hands. And Amy, our kindergarten teacher here, she will introduce more details about how the day flows there and how children are developing their skills in their hands. Then from the age of 7 until 14, they're developing their emotions. So a lot of stories and a lot of subjects are actually directed on that. And from the age of 14 to 18, this is high schools, and children are developing intellectually. So just to conclude, each lesson in the Waldorf class is designed in mind with a hand, heart, and hands approach. And each experience really engages students' intellectual capacities, which is thinking, their artistic and emotional capacities that develop their feeling, and the practical skills, building capacities, which develop their willing, So like from what I observed, the learning is really beautifully integrated with the natural stages of child's development. And it's resulting in meaningful and really memorable learning experiences. And basically children live what they learn. And our curriculum takes into account the 3 developmental phases, and it is in line with how children learn, what children are ready to learn, and when they're ready to learn. This really helps children to thrive. And when the time comes to learn a specific skill, which is age appropriate for them, they really thrive at that. I mean, they learn so fast, and it's amazing to see how this change in this learning process is happening. And of course, this kind of education is resulting in meaningful and memorable learning experiences, and they relate to the childhood as a really, really happy time. It is a holistic child-centered approach, and it helps child to thrive and develop their love for learning. And in our ever-changing environment, this is very important for children who love to learn and to adjust quickly to the new circumstances. Now you can see on the screen the lesson structure. I'll just say a few words about that, and then Tanya will go more into the detail. So the day starts with a 2-hour main lesson. So it happens every morning where children study the core curriculum. That can be science, math, movements, and more. It depends on the block. Each main lesson block lasts from 2 to 4 weeks, and the block rotation with the intense focus for some weeks at a time is really beneficial. It allows students and teachers to immerse themselves deeply into the subject. Then the main lesson is followed by shorter subjects such as handwork, sport games, music, skills, and languages. So it's really very interactive. And the grades, actually, I do get that quite often from new families. Do you have grades? How do you grade the abilities for children? So I would like to say a few words on this popular subject. Here at school, we strive to provide the healthiest possible learning environment for our students. What does it mean? It is free from unnecessary stress, from unproductive stress, or from competition. So we do not have grades. The absence of a grading system actually encourages students to be internally motivated, and they reach their highest potential instead of doing, just enough to pass a test and achieve a desired grade. So there is a lot of meaning at what is happening at the learning. Then we have end of the year reports. So at the end of the year, families receive very comprehensive end of the year report. We use at the Waldorf these reports for recording students' progress. Just to give you more detail, it's very detailed report, and it provides really meaningful insight into students' achievements. So there are no grades, but there is very detailed description of how children learn, what they learn, how fast did they learn, and parents in the end of the year can see very detailed understanding of the child. And also here at Waldorf, we encourage children to develop qualities that cannot be measured with grades. For example, creativity, critical thinking, resilience, motivations, empathy, leadership, compassion, zest for life. So there is a lot to that. So I can go on and on. The subject is absolutely amazing, and I hope you are as excited about this as I am. But I think it's time to pass the microphone to our next speaker, the Waldorf Kindergarten. Amy, please.
Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to this this introduction of our beautiful new school. I can't see the, can everyone? My name's Amy and I've been teaching kindergarten for up to 8 years now. And I've been in Limassol, teaching at the Limassol Waldorf School. I've been quite fortunate to work with such an amazing team for a year now. And I've been working alongside Elena in kindergarten at Yamasoya. I feel very privileged to present Waldorf Kindergarten because I just want to check if my video is on. Good. Can we go back to slide 1, please? Good. I just want to check, can you see my video? Can I?
Amy, don't worry, everything is fine. We can see and hear you.
Good. I just
Everything
saw
good.
avatar. Okay, good. So everything's fine. Thank you. So to begin, I chose these pictures because they're from last year at during our outdoor play in Yamasoya, and it's important to us because we draw so much inspiration from nature in our Waldorf Kindergarten and the elements and the seasons. And we immerse ourselves in nature and use what it provides in our meals, our activities, and our stories and our songs each day. Next slide. Our indoor space. The classroom is painted peach to create a light-filled, soft space for the children to arrive each morning and feel at peace and to feel that soft feeling that one might feel when they arrive home to an organic space where it's safe. We fill the room with wooden furniture, woolen pillows and carpets, natural cotton and silk, handmade dolls, and some hanging treasures like fairies and gnomes. On the shelves, we have wooden toys, animals, blocks, and handmade dolls, and puppets, of course. Next. Oh, and also in our indoor space, it's full of natural elements for the season. Okay, so the next slide. Our day at kindergarten. So we start each day with our outdoor free play, where children may have the option of joining the teacher with some housework, which is sweeping away the leaves from the evening before, watering our plants, or washing the fruits for our breakfast, all the while singing some of our favorite seasonal songs. We then come together for circle time. We sing, we dance, we do finger games or movement games where we, focus on balance and our vestibular system. And we quietly discuss our theme, which revolves around our seasons and correspond to the festivals. For example, during spring, we explore flowers and butterflies and share fairy tales about Easter and its message of light and wonder in all of our treasures, like Easter eggs. Then we have our daily activity after our circle time. And well, after circle time, of course, we have our breakfast. And then after breakfast, we have our daily activity. Each day we have a different activity. On Monday, we mold shapes with beeswax. And on Tuesday, we make a mixture of dough and flax seeds and sesame seeds and organic dough to roll and bake our own bread for our vegetable soup of the day. On Wednesday, we do wet on wet painting, where children discover how Peter the paintbrush navigates the paper and how the colors mix and make new colors and new moods and new sensations. During painting, the teacher will usually play an instrument or tell a story, but it always depends on the mood. We read how the children are feeling. Maybe they just want to be quiet and paint. On Thursday, we do handwork such as finger knitting or sewing, or we do some felting with soft wool. On Friday, it's our little gnome working day. So we fill buckets of soapy water and sponges to clean our playground. We get sandpaper and we sand wood around our playground. We fill watering cans and water our existing plants. And most often we do some gardening, like planting new flowers. And it gets the children quite excited over the weekend to see what's there growing on Monday. So after our activity of the day, we go inside for indoor free play. The children engage in imaginative play using soft fabrics, furniture, to build their own little homes, shops, restaurants, hotels, boats. And sometimes we are fortunate to see a puppet show for a price though. Tickets go for crystals that you might find on the shelf. After free play, we have tidy up time, and the teacher will play the recorder and hopefully the children correspond and we all tidy together so that we have a clean room ready for story time. But it's a slow process, the tidy up time. There's no instruction. We just slowly do it together and respect our environment and make sure it looks ready so that we can sit down comfortably and relax for story time. The children then wash their hands and enjoy the story with their friends. Our story in the first week, the teacher will read from a book, so the children just listen and use their imagination. And after the first week, the teacher, we will prepare a beautiful puppet show, usually made with handmade puppets and dolls. And at the end of the week, the children are very excited to come in, and on the Friday, sometimes we let the children come in and participate. So some of our future actors and actresses are rehearsing. So during story time, for example, if it was spring, we would tell a story about Acorn and the Caterpillar. It's a beautiful story about a lovely little gnome who takes care of a caterpillar, and the children, they learn how a butterfly comes to be. So just that's an example of some of our fairy tales or our stories. After the story, we have our lunch. We all sit together, hold hands and light a candle before enjoying an organic meat-free meal. The children then stack their bowls and their teacups before preparing for rest time. Each child has their own little box and a woolen mat, soft blankets and pillow to make their cozy little nest. The teacher will play the harp, or we can say lyra as well, while children rest and settle into their quiet space with their friends after a very active day. At 1:30, we slowly wake up and go outside to participate in some quiet, constructive play while waiting for parents to collect us. And collection time is usually around 2 to 2:30. And that's our day at kindergarten. But to summarize everything that I'm saying, most importantly, I just want to say that in kindergarten, or I guess, you know, in Waldorf in general, we strive to create a gentle space and atmosphere for your child to feel, to grow and to blossom. So, thank you.
Thank you, Amy. That was lovely. Kate, your turn. Tell us about learning languages at Waldorf.
Thank you, Tania and Annie. So my name is Kate, and today I would like to tell you a little bit about the learning languages at Waldorf, because since we're living in the multicultural and multilingual country, it is very to this and for children not to feel the stress, but to feel easy and find the easy and accessible way to learn and
Okay, could you please
understand the
speak
language.
up a bit louder if possible?
Oh,
If you could.
all right, I guess I need to put the microphone
Yeah,
closer.
thank you. Mhm.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to start with Rudolf Steiner quote because it's represents the idea of learning foreign language in Waldorf system. Receive the children in reverence, educate them in love, let them go forth in freedom. So that way we focus on children in the, not to feel, not for them to feel stressed, but to feel comfortable and confident in learning. Maria, next slide, please. Maria, thank you. Since children have different periods in their growing and exploring the world, Rudolf Steiner said that first stage is a willing realm when children explore the world with their hands. Then there is a feeling realm between age 7 and 14 when they're discovering the world through their hearts. And when they get older, there is a thinking realm, and the children understand the world with their heads. Can we go to the next slide, please? So during the classes, between 1 and 3, children learn language through songs, dances, games, finger plays, verses, and they engage conversations. Since art and language is very essential, and when they come together and emerge, then children find it easier to learn language. So during the first classes, children explore the world and understand the language, crafts, paintings, and music. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So in classes between classes 4 and 8, they're also learning language through songs, verses, and poems. However, they are getting more complicated, and children are exploring the language through complex poems. And since they are very active and artistic, they really enjoy develop their language through plays, and they are really participating in different activities like that. Generally, in order for a child to feel comfortable in the language, in learning language, we surround them with the language throughout the class. So if it's a Greek language, then they are learning Greek. If it's Russian, then they're learning Russian, and so on. And since we have English language curriculum, then we're learning English throughout the day. Thank you, Tania.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you very much, everyone. So I'm going to talk about the primary years. Just to quickly introduce at the beginning, before I talk about class 1, I'd like to just introduce our new class 1 teacher. Her name is Heather Gibbs, and she is from South Africa. And she's joining us soon. At the moment, she's in South Africa. We're very, very lucky that she is actually here to show her face this evening. Heather has a background in teaching in primary state schools in South Africa. She started off in primary state schools and then discovered Waldorf and has been a Waldorf teacher, a very renowned Waldorf teacher for many, many years at a school called Gaia Waldorf School in South Africa. So we are very fortunate and lucky to have Heather join us this year. Heather, if you'd like to just say who you are and just so people can, for the prospective new class 1 students, just to know who the teacher will be for that class.
I just wanted to say greetings to everybody, the teachers and the parents, and if there are a few children watching as well, to them as well. It's a little bit difficult for me to try and picture where I'm going to be because I'm still in rainy, cold Cape Town. So I've got a few more weeks to go before I get to Cyprus, but it's going to be quite a change for me. I'm looking forward to it. I've always wanted to teach in another Waldorf school somewhere in the world where I can interact with different cultures and languages and people from all over the world. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be bringing my 2 children with me, my son Robin, who's 8, and my daughter 15. And yes, it's the beginning of the journey, and I'm just going to take it as it comes. And I'm really looking forward to meeting all the children and the parents face to face and not on a screen. So yes. As you have told me a little bit about myself, I've mostly been at Gaia Waldorf School. I did a cycle there, and then I worked quite a bit in the office, just doing administration. And then the last couple of years, I've been doing extra lessons, just supporting children with English and maths needs. And then concurrently with that, I've also been studying the extra lesson, which is the remedial training for Waldorf. And I hope I'm looking forward to putting some of the things that I've learned into practice. So that's for me for now, and hopefully I'll see you soon, everybody.
Thank you so much, Heather. We're really, really lucky to have you aboard. I just want to say Heather is the first teacher who will join us of the Waldorf teachers who's actually completed that or studied the extra lesson. It's a very special program specifically designed to support students who have learning differences. And we really look forward to having her on board for that as well. So just quickly, I'm going to go through these really quickly. So just so that we get a good overview of what primary years are all about in Waldorf education. In class 1, which Heather will be teaching this year, the children focus a lot on fairy tales, folk tales, legends. We use story very much in Waldorf education to bring the children into the world of learning. In fact, we use stories for everything. We learn stories. We learn through storytelling when it comes to language learning, English specifically, because we are an English medium school. But also for maths and science and all other subjects, we use stories, and the children have incredible capacity for story. Form drawing, you'll see in each year. Watercolor painting is something that features throughout our education, as Amy also mentioned. The children are really in class 1, they become familiar with the alphabet in a very unique way. They literally meet each letter of the alphabet and shaping them in beeswax. They go on a journey through Numberland and meet the 4 operations, the King Peter plus or Queen Mary minus. And so it's really a journey in Waldorf. And the 4 operations are then brought even in a geometric way to the children, where they learn through geometric shapes. They learn to count in a very different way, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's really in a holistic way. Next slide, please. Class 2. Class 2 is when the story then changes to heroes and saints. So in the class 2, the child has this kind of opposite paradigm that it moves into the world of opposites, of good and bad, of right and wrong, of calm and excited. And so the stories of heroes and saints really appeals to their better nature. And then the stories of animals, and we learn, it's the first time where we learn animal science and nature science and arithmetic. And that really gets them in touch with their more basic side. And through animal fables like the Aesop fables, they are taught, they encounter moral values. And then we continue the form drawing, animal fables, and grammar and speech and poetry now becomes a lot more prominent in class 2. This is when they really start learning to read and write in English. And yeah, so there's a little example there at the bottom of how we do the main lesson book, which I can talk about a little bit more later. Next slide. So the main lesson book is very special. Each child, so we don't work with textbooks, although the teachers have textbooks, but the children work mostly with, through creating their own textbook. And usually you'll see a double page spread where the child has their own drawing and then some writing next to the drawing. And nature journaling happens in the same way. In class 3, we focus on Hebrew stories because it's very important that this child, at this stage of the child's development, for them to have a role model, someone that they can look up to, and the teachers plays an important role in class 3, and so do the parents. And children, in Waldorf, we recognize the fact that children learn through imitation a lot more than teaching. So it puts quite a lot of responsibility on us. We also look at humanity on Earth through house building, textiles, weaving, foods, and farming. And in year 3, a very exciting time, we go around. I taught class 3 last year. We go around measuring things and first we use our hands and our bodies. We'll learn about the cubit. We learn about the inch. Instead of just learning the metric system, we move over to the metric system, but we really go from the inside out in Waldorf. So children really enjoy this main lesson: time, money, length, weight, volume, etc. Next slide. Yes, that's fine. Thanks, Maria. In class 4, which is what I'm teaching this year, this is the phase where the child is now crossing the Rubicon, so to speak, over into the more mature world. And the sense of I in the child is developing. They now encounter zoology on a little bit more of an intellectual level, but still maintaining the holistic learning. We do Norse mythology, which is very popular in class 4. The children absolutely love learning about Thor and Odin and Loki, and it's a very exciting year. We act out the plays and stories. We sing songs from the Norse world. And it's really a new way of thinking and feeling and being for the child in class 4. There is definitely this transition from lower primary up to upper primary. Thank you, Maria. Next slide. Class 5. Now this is it's known as the heart of childhood, and in this year, I love teaching class 5. It is the 5 or 6 ancient civilizations are presented to the child. They learn creation stories, so it helps them to really start grappling with their own worldview. And we present these stories from a non-religious or a non-specific way, and the child is allowed to make up their own mind and experience it for themselves. So we do Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, Greece. Sometimes they add China as well. And during this year, they often participate in Olympic Games, which our class 5s of last year were able to participate in for the first time in our school's history. They went to the UK and they were able to, with other Waldorf schools, participate in the Waldorf Greek Olympics. And it's literally reenacting what the original Olympic Games would have been like, mostly participating in athletics events. So there's also exciting things happening in terms of botany, music, etc. in class 5. Class 6, everything sort of shifts a little bit more from the mythological perspective and the stories to more real life stories. In class 6, the children can really start grappling with history in a more hands-on kind of way and really look at the history of the Romans, the knights, medieval world, the Romans and conquerors. It's a difficult time in the child's life in class 6. 12-year-olds often go also through a little bit of a difficult change as they do in class 6. We start exploring physics. So this is really an intellectual year, or the beginning of the intellectual stage. Mineralogy, we do quite extensive. Looking at rocks and crystals, and we look at the stars. Children learn how to find their way. In South Africa, we do it with the Southern Cross. It's a little bit different on this side of the world. Geography also is more extensive. They do start business maths in class 6. They do more extensive geometric drawings. And up to this stage, geometric drawings are all free-handed, but from class 6 onwards, they start using the compasses and produce incredibly beautiful work. You can see on the next slide. Thank you. Oh yes, biographies. The curriculum is so rich, I can't squash it all into a couple of words. In class 7 and 8, which I'll just talk about very briefly, I put an example there for you of some of the work that children produce in class 7 and 8. And the big difference, I think, between children who've been through a Waldorf education and those who haven't is we really try to nurture the child's own love for learning. And what happens then is in the upper grades, the children really surprise us and they create these incredible maps, these incredible geometric drawings, incredible handwork pieces that you're surprised. My child has been through a Waldorf education since class 1, and she creates things. Sometimes I just stare at her in awe, and I cannot believe what she's coming up with. So it's really trying to preserve that fountain of youth, and the child can really, like as I said before, can really be supported to grow as an individual and find their specific focus that we all want to see. And as Amy said, that they can blossom into the best people that they can be, growing into adults. Thank you. That's all from the primary. I think, yes, that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, Tanya, maybe just a couple of comments I wanted to add is that in terms of the people who are going to teach which classes, so Amy will be kindergarten teacher. I'm talking about only lead teachers now. Also Alena, whom you know from last year in Palodia, in our new school site. We're going to have Carol from UK. She's going to lead our Waldorf Family Club in Pariklisha. We just introduced Heather for class 1. In class 2, actually, we're going to have a new teacher. Her name is Maria. She's coming from Holland, and she's been a Waldorf teacher for many years. We will set up a class meeting for class 2 to meet and greet the new teacher. And the rest, this class 3 is Yaga, class 4 Tania, and in class 5, also there's one change. Andrea Ipiridis is going to lead on class 5 this year. And we just said goodbye to Fleur, unfortunately, but we're also excited to have Andrea as a class 5 teacher. We just had a parent meeting about this, and parents had a chance to ask questions about that.
Sorry, Alex, I meant to say it as I was going through the classes, and then I forgot. But thank you for remembering.
Yeah.
Thank you. Starting from this year, we will have after-school program from 2:30 till 6. And during after-school program, Waldorf students will have a chance to meet IB students to find new friends, as it's a joint program for both IB and Waldorf students. The main aim of after-school activities is to help children try something outside of their school routine, discover their talents, and develop new interests and skills. We plan some indoor creative activities like imagination laboratory, where children will turn their ideas into arts and crafts and develop their motor skills and imagination. Cooking club, which will foster children's sensory development and give them a chance to generate creative ideas for dishes. Also, children will spend enough time outside doing physical activities, climbing, playing backyard games in action laboratory, and exploring nature, observing plants, and investigating natural phenomena. Primary school students, you can see it on the next slide, will also have inquiry or story time for reading, discussing books from the library, and coming up with their own stories. Most of the activities will be structured by our teachers, but still children will have time for
free play, for free unstructured play, as it's a natural way for children to learn and develop. Apart from the basic activities that you have seen on these slides, you can enroll for extra activities. You can see them on the next slide, like engineer club, like engineer club, music band club, orchestra, animation studio, tinkering studio, where children can try woodwork, performing arts clubs for drama and artistic activities, and lots of other exciting clubs. We will share the final list with you soon. All the after-school activities will be planned in a way to support students' social, emotional, and cognitive development, and to provide a safe and supportive environment for children. I hope that every children will find a club that suits his interests, that will help to discover his talents and to develop his skills. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we'll continue, I think we could, share very important information about our operations issues. Martin, maybe a few words from yourself.
Sure, thank you very much. Yeah, basically a brief overview in terms of key operational dates and schedule, the timetable. So our school year, we are targeting the start of operations in Palodia, so that relates to pre-primary, primary, and secondary school on September 26th, because basically this is it is driven due to the fact that we have a school commissioning, and also basically before the commissioning, school needs to do. We will host an inspection.
Martin, maybe I can say so. Like as I said, like we're building a school as a Guinness record over 5 months. So we just allowed a bit more time to make sure that all the bureaucracy also will be covered in the first couple of weeks of September. So we agreed with the Ministry of Education, the school starting date is September 26th, as what just Martin said. And yeah, and we're all geared to get there on time.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Correct. And because of the late start, as an exception, this academic year only, our academic year will finish next year on July 14th. So we will run a little bit longer, but the overall duration of the academic year will be appropriate to ensure that we cover the full curriculum for each of the class years. And then in terms of the academic program and after school programs, the classes will start at 8:30 in the morning. This is also done on purpose to ensure that basically we have a little bit of a shift from the morning rush hour in that specific direction on the highway leading from Limassol to Troodos. So all the classes for all programs will start at 8:30 in the morning, will finish at 2:30, and then afternoon program will run from 2:30 till 6 o'clock. Thank you. Yeah.
Martin, you're on mute.
Yeah. And then the other slide to cover. So we will be offering our parents school bus service. For those parents who already went through the admission process and registration process, our team has sent a questionnaire asking to indicate whether or not parents are interested in a school bus. School bus will be provided. There will be 3 standard types of services: the round trip, one way from the house, from your home address to the school, and the third type of service, one way from the school to your home address. So all children will be picked up, collected from their home addresses and brought to the school, and then the same will basically happen on the way back, on the return trip. The collections will start, basically the pickup by buses, depending on the routes, will start around 7 o'clock, 7:15 o'clock in the morning, with the bus arriving to the school site by 8:10 in the morning. And then the return trips are scheduled at 2:15 and 6:15 p.m. Buses will run covering, bus routes will cover the western part of Limassol, the eastern part of Limassol, downtown, basically areas. Also, we are planning to operate a bus or a vehicle from Paphos with an intermediate stop in Aphrodite Hills to school, and the return trip back basically to the same locations. Buses will be operated by the licensed company who has basically quite extensive experience working for various schools. In our school, none of the programs will be children in none of the in none of the programs will be required to wear a uniform. So it's a no uniform policy. However, the administrative team and pedagogical team will be sending, as part of the package before the school starts, will be sending some guidelines on the basically dress code that will exist in our school. And last but not least, because school is offering basically an extended program including the afternoon activities, we understand it's very important to service high quality, proper, warm meal, well-cooked meal to our children. This is why we reached out to one of the best catering service providers, and the guys who also operate, probably a number of you who are in Limassol already for a long time know the company called Uptown Square. So Uptown Square will be operating a small canteen on the premises of our school, and we will be offering a lunch, basically meal option service for the children who will sign up for that service. In addition to that, there will be a large selection of healthy snacks which children can purchase from the canteen during the afternoon, basically time, during the after school activities. Also on the premises of the school, we'll have a couple of vending machines operated by the same company, Uptown Square. Again, the menu and the list of snacks and the list of items in the vending machine will be developed with the ultimate aim of providing healthy food to our children. Also, we'll have a juice bar located in the canteen as well. This is the location of our school in Palodia. So this is a geotag. So if you can recognize basically the highway that goes from the roundabout of Katopole Media up to Trodos Mountains. So after you pass the Spirovsky Priano Athletic Center and another large school on your right as you drive up the mountains. So basically on the left is our school, the Island Private School. So this is a geotag if you want to know the location. If you drive past, it's very difficult to miss it because it's visible, and there are now there's a lot of activities there. And also another location, as many of my colleagues have mentioned, is the Waldorf Family Club in Paraklisha. And yes, and let's go back to the numbers. Just quick highlights of our new site in Palodia. So we have the total number of classrooms is almost 40 across the pre-primary, primary, secondary schools, with a maximum number of students per classroom of 20 students for the pre-primary and 25 for the primary and secondary. Total area of classrooms exceeds 2,200 square meters. Our two administrative buildings totaling 317 square meters. And then the outdoor, quite large outdoor areas, basically, which are proportional to the total head count of children in the school. So it's 900 meters or 900 square meters in pre-primary, 2,600 plus square meters in primary, and over 1,000 square meters in secondary. The all outdoor areas will be covered with artificial grass. Primary, pre-primary outdoor areas will have outdoor toys and equipment. There is a zoning done, so children will have place to rest, the place to chill out, the place to sit, the place to play. Finally, we do have a parking of over 2,000 square meters and two large sports fields with the changing rooms totaling 664 square meters. The total area of the new school in Palodia is almost 18,500 square meters. The total capacity of the school is 700 students. Thank you.
So just a few words for our new families, for our new parents. What should you do next if you want to join our school? So please fill the registration form in our website, isl.ui, but please choose the Waldorf program, Waldorf curriculum. There are two ways to fill this form. And if you have any questions, you can write to our email, or you can phone. Be careful, we changed the phone number. So now we have one official phone number for the whole school, and we will help you to with all your questions, issues, and we will help you. We will provide you information how you can enroll in our school. So I think it's time to move to questions. Thank you very much for all of your attention. It was more than 75 parents here with us today. So welcome to our Waldorf program in our Island private school. And I think now we can answer to your questions. So let me read it. Can we see license you talked about?
Yeah, let me talk about this. So a license is due, should be delivered to us in September. We had, well, we actually live in the Ministry of Education, and not just me and Martin, but other team members as well. So at various levels, from receptionist to Ministry of Education, we meet them almost every day. And all the information has been submitted, a few little things been pending, but on this side, we're just waiting for the bureaucracy to go through and to get the sign-offs. Yes, so we're expecting it before this, in September, before the school is starting. But personally, we met with the Minister of Education, Mr. Prodromu, with the General Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Neofitu, and they all committed personally to get the school opened in September. It might be, I know, might be like a tricky question, hey, license and all these things. The ministry wants us to open the school, just to be clear. What we're doing is for the benefit of the Ministry of Education, because there are waiting lists in Limassol and in Cyprus, and we just make them a great favor to resolve the current collapse of the capacity in schools in Limassol. So everyone is geared to support us and to do that on time, just to let you know the context of what's been happening here. Yep.
Thank you. The next question is, does Russian... Yep. Tania, please. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I thought I could answer that one, if that's okay. Does Russian language I suppose is Russian language education mandatory or optional? So at the moment, we are offering Russian as in two forms. So we offer it as in Russian language to first language speakers in the Waldorf program. So we have two teachers. The children split it at the same time. Those who are not native Russian speakers have Russian as a second language. That's what we did last year, and then so we're looking to continue that. Children really enjoyed that. It's more conversational Russian and just learning, how to interact with their friends who often speak Russian on the playground, to be able to understand what they're saying. So it's really conversational and fun in Russian, and a lot of stories and poems, as Kate explained to us, how we learn languages in Waldorf. And then we're also looking into, we're in the process of introducing Ukrainian as an option for students who would prefer, or Ukrainian speakers who would prefer to study Ukrainian language. Maybe Alex, you'd like to elaborate on that? Or Duncan?
Yeah. So we have a great teacher joining us from Ukraine, who's been experienced in teaching Ukrainian language and literature, and we just we'll offer this opportunity for those who are interested. Yep. And in this case, just to answer the question, in this case, Russian is not mandatory. So if you choose Ukrainian, you can learn Ukrainian. Currently, is the binary, either Ukrainian or Russian.
Yes, last year we did have French as an option as well for the older students. At the moment, we don't have a French teacher, unfortunately, because Fleur has gone back to to England. So we don't have French at the moment, but you know, if there is a demand for it, we did have a language survey that went out last year. So if there's a demand, I know some of the parents in our school are very keen for German to be taught as another language. So perhaps we'll look into that again and see what the demand is. At the moment, we're just trying to make sure we can actually open. So, but definitely different languages is a big part of Waldorf education. We really embrace a multicultural, multilingual environment.
Yeah, I guess the next question, maybe I'll answer as well. So will the new campus 2025 be located in the same place? Will be safe for children if the construction runs close to them? It's a good question. That we bought a lot of land in this area, and we're taking maybe just 10% of all the land that we acquired. So it will be used just for the school that we are opening in September. So the new school, the bigger school for like up to 2,000 students, will be located in a different area that will be not interfering with the learning process, and there'll be no should not be even visible because of where we have a lot of space, and it will be just in different location. So it's absolutely fine. No disturbance for the children there. And yeah, so maybe let's continue. I think GPS link was provided, so you can I think they addressed this one, so you can see location of the school on the map. Was one more question. When you say September, is there any specific day or milestone? I think we addressed this one. So September 26th is the target date to open the school. Who's teaching grade 2 this year? I mentioned that it will be Miss Maria. She comes from Holland. She's been experienced teacher in Waldorf, and we're planning to organize a get to know each other session for Maria to meet the class 2 parents and children as well soon. So next couple of weeks. And also notably, there was one slide that we did not discuss. It was about biodynamic gardening. Because we have so much land around, we're planning to establish our own biodynamic garden and farm. So there'll be homegrown or school-grown vegetables and fruits there, and also like an animal farm. Children will take care of the animals and so children will be involved in learning how to do biodynamic gardening. And this will be done by a teacher who is the husband of our class 2 teacher. That's why I connected these 2 points. Okay, next questions from Alexander Cham. Yeah, I think we discussed the license. The starting date we discussed. Yeah, I think this is all covered. Location, well done. Yeah. The start of the school year in Paraklisha is earlier. We're targeting September 12th as the first day of our Waldorf Family Club in Paraklisha, and 26th in Palodia. I think there's one question to Duncan.
Well, can I just quickly answer from the Waldorf, and then we'll hand over to Duncan about the IB? Yep. Is that all right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Katerina did mention that sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well, Tanya.
Yeah, okay. Katerina did mention that we don't have grades in Waldorf. Now, that's a bit of a, we have to explain that a little bit, in the sense that we, instead of calling it grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, etc., we prefer calling it class 1 or year 1, year 2, year 3, class 1, class 2, class 3, just so that the children, so it establishes that feeling with, sorry, I think, can everyone just mute themselves? I can't hear. I think there's something going wrong with the, there we go, that's better. So I think this, the idea is really so that In Waldorf, we recognize that learning takes place over a gradient. It takes place over time. And so we are much more milestone driven in terms of the child's progress. It doesn't mean that we don't have grades at all. We do from the upper grades, from grade 5, 4, etc. Maybe sometimes in grade 3, the children will write small spelling tests or math tests, because in maths, for example, an answer is either right or wrong, for the simple arithmetic. But we also allow the child to discover their own way of solving a maths problem. So it will present the maths problem in a number of different ways, so that the child can find their own way of figuring out what the answer is. So it doesn't mean that we don't have grades at all. It just means that we introduce it at the right time and in the right way, and that each teacher acts like a mentor for the child in terms of their learning. So if the child doesn't reach a particular milestone in class 2, for example, the teacher will know and allow that child to reach the milestone in class 3, for example. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Tania, and I'll carry on. That really lovely description shows that there is actually a really nice pathway as there is a progression from one program into the other. Assessment is an integral part of teaching and learning, and especially in the MYP. So what is similar to what is going on already is that children will have formative and summative assessments. And with that, it is very much that same sort of theory. Formative assessments is where you're trying to help these children meet their milestones. So the short answer is yes, there is a grading system. The longer answer is that it looks as though and it feels though it's very complementary from what is happening in the later grades in the Waldorf curriculum. Thank you.
So thank you so much. I think we can move to the next question. Do you know pricing for bus? Martin, I think it's for you.
Yes, I can probably take the answer. So because this is the first time we will be supporting operations of the bus service, we decided to do it in 2 waves. First wave, we already reached out to parents to confirm your intention or potential interest in using bus services. Your intention or your expression of interest does not mean the commitment yet, but once.
Martin, could you please speak louder?
Yes, so we reached out already to parents whose children have been admitted or continue in our school with the request to confirm whether or not you will be interested in the bus service. Once that information is received, we will build the routes with the bus company. And then the second wave, we will come back to the parents confirming the tariffs. So you should hear that information from us sometime by the end of August, the latest.
Okay. Next question. When all the premises will be available?
Yes, Denise, school will open on the 26th of September, as we discussed and as we presented today.
What about holidays dates? I probably could answer. So we will share the calendar for the whole year tomorrow via our chats and emails to our current parents. So we know the first date, we know all the holiday dates. So we will provide all the information tomorrow. That's it. Can you please tell us the fees? Alex, I think it's for you maybe.
Well, I think it's best if you could reach out to us. We'll send you the whole package, including the fees and fees. Well, the current parents know that, but the new parents, thank you for the question. We just email this to you.
Okay. What are the costs for sending out 2 sons to your school? The same, I think, right? Yeah. Your question about the fees. Next one. It's amazing what was done in a short amount of time. Congrats to all. The Cypriot, it's important for me that my child would learn Greek language to native speaker level. Do you think that could be achieved or Greek will be learned as a second language level only?
I can answer. Yeah. Yes, Michalis, you and I have had several discussions about this. So I'm very much aware of your need, and also other Greek-speaking students in the school. During the holidays, I've worked in collaboration with my colleagues. I tried to develop a little bit of a different Greek program for Waldorf, and it's still in the process of happening. But our idea is basically to separate the students based on their ability in Greek, and not necessarily class level. I think there's an echo again. I think it's everyone just mute their mics, please. Thank you. So Michalis, the idea is to separate the children based on this. So my idea is to have, say, for example, class 1 and 2 will have Greek at the same time, and then those who are capable of Greek will go with the one teacher, and those who are not will have never done Greek before will go with a different teacher. Whether we will actually get it up to native speaker level, I'm not sure, but we do have more Greek teachers this year, and also we have a lot of conversational Greek lessons that will happen through the medium of music, poetry, and even our new PE teacher is an expert in Greek dancing. So I'm hoping that she will be able to teach some Greek dancing to the students. So we try to create a rich Cypriot experience at our school, and expose our students to a lot more native language, and also the native culture. But I think I'm just going to ask for you to bear with us, and this is definitely in our plan, on our long-term plan, to develop this and definitely have a native Greek level of language of Greek teaching in our school eventually when we get there. And and also just providing extension work to those students who are native speakers, making it interesting for them. So that's definitely on the radar. Next one, who's going to answer the next one?
Well, there's one question about, I don't understand, it's in Russian, but I think it's someone saying that in private schools, they introduce new sexual education, and hopefully it's not related, you're not going to do that in your school. I'm not quite sure what exactly it means. Well, there's no, my colleagues probably will comment, Duncan, about this, or Tania.
Maybe Duncan can answer.
Well, perhaps it might be about minorities, LGBT, or this thing, I'm guessing, or... Yeah,
I mean, there is obviously sex ed at most schools, but it's done in a very professional way. We don't introduce it in the younger years, so it doesn't really pertain to Waldorf level at this stage. So maybe, Duncan, you can just tell us a bit about the SEL program that we spoke about today, and just what that entails, because it's more of a life orientation kind of subject, right, in IB?
It completely varies, and completely the social and, well, I think the question is really based towards what is happening on the Waldorf side. So I think you've answered the question there, that it's not really entered into. It is an area that is entered to in the IB. It's very integral to relationships and respect. But obviously the question is to do with the Waldorf side. So I don't think I need to carry on and explain perhaps in more depth.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can just say how it's normally done normally in class 6 and 7. There is a study. The children actually do study anatomy. So I wish I had Chaz here this evening to tell us a little bit more about that. But they do study anatomy, but it's done in a very respectful, very moral and ethical way. So no, we haven't had any communication from the ministry with relations to what should be provided to students at all on that level. Thank you.
Okay, Maria, are you on mute?
Sorry, I was muted, sorry. Can you please tell us the cost of the after-school program, lunch option, and bus options, please? Thanks.
So as we already discussed, for the lunch option, we are planning to distribute a short presentation on the menu options, and we will basically give the information about the prices in that presentation as well. So by the end of next week, we'll send out the presentation to all parents who registered to school. Bus option, by the end of the month, by the end of August, we'll come back with the tariffs for each of the bus service options. And then the after school program, I believe that pricing for the after school program will come as part of the distribution of our school fees, which Maria has mentioned.
Okay, great. How many first classes are there in Waldorf? I think it's one.
Only
one.
Only one.
Okay. Could you please elaborate on the price? Yeah, again, and again, prices. And just the comments, I think. Appreciate all your efforts. Thank you very much and looking forward to see you soon. Best of luck to finish on time. Yeah, cross fingers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for it.
Bravo, thank you for a great, big job. Thank you so much. Will you have language support for those students who have A0 level English?
Yes, I can answer. Kate mentioned a little bit when she spoke about language teaching in Waldorf schools. We do have a little bit of a different approach in that, especially because we are an English speaking school with a lot of children who do not speak English as a first language. It's quite a challenge, as you can imagine. So our support system is a little bit unconventional in the sense that because Rudolf Steiner spoke a lot about immersing the child in the language, so surrounding the child with the language. So we try to create a specific language that is being spoken in that class at a specific time. So this has really proven to be very effective. Yaga, who is our current class 3 teacher, she is an ESL teacher as well, and she has a great success with her class in just immersing them in the English language from class 1, and they are all now very proficient. Those who've been with her since class 1 are now very proficient in English. For this reason, because we have so many Russian speakers in our school, we also have in class 1 and class 2, we have assistants. Now, Kate, who is here with us this evening, she is Russian speaking, and she is the assistant in class 2. So we will try to have the same in class 1 this year, so that the children who have absolutely no English, that they will have someone who can understand. And if it's another language and it's not Russian, hopefully some of our teachers luckily are multilingual. We're lucky in class 2 we have Maria now, who speaks both Dutch and German. I think the South Africans amongst us speak Afrikaans, which is another version of Dutch. So there are a lot of languages around, and another way in which we support the children is just, if a child is struggling with a new language. I had a child last year, a lovely child who spoke only Hebrew and Portuguese and very little English when she joined us. But through our very specialized program, she learned within 2 or 3 months. She is now proficient in English, almost at the same level as her classmates. So we do have extra lessons in the afternoon to support those students. And like I said, assistantship at school from all the assistants and co-teachers, and also from the teachers themselves. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. And the last question is, what about learning materials for first class? Are some preparation is needed? Thanks.
Shall I answer that also? I'm the only one speaking. Is that okay? Or Martin, you want to answer? Can I answer? Alex?
Annie,
Okay.
go ahead. It's your question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think most of our materials are included. So we, at the moment, we order, we put in our team is busy of putting in a massive order from the Waldorf suppliers. So we have very special materials that we use in Waldorf, especially art materials. The children all have Lyra pencils that they use for artistically decorating their work. They have they only receive their pencils in class 2, however, so that's not for class 1. In class 1, they work mostly with beeswax crayons and beeswax modeling. So there's a whole system, an artistic system in which the different art supplies are introduced. They do use pencils in class 1 as well, but they're more in a more simplistic kind of way. So each teacher will then also have a list of supplies. It's usually a very short list, like an eraser and a sharpener and things like that. Maybe some indoor shoes, that kind of thing. So closer to the time, once we've got everybody in Cyprus, all the teachers are on the Telegram groups, and they will communicate with you exactly what your specific child in that particular class will need, including class 1. But don't worry about all the special things that you need. We will provide that.
Thank you so much. And one more question: are the after-school program is also for the pre-reception and reception? I'm not sure Kate Manova could answer, but the short answer is yes. We have specific clubs, both for the kindergarten and primary and secondary school. So, yep.
Yes, I think it's just very important to note that they will be separate. I don't think that it's in aftercare. There's always a concern that there's too much going on for the older children or not enough for the little ones. So we're really trying to cater for both ages, as Maria is saying and as Katja said.
Yep. Thank you so much. That's it. If you have any more questions, please type it, text it. We will answer it. If no, we will provide the record of today's meeting via emails and via our chats. Thank you so much. It was absolutely amazing evening with all of you. It was really nice to meet all of you here. So yeah, no more questions. So thank you so much. I hope we will meet each other in September. It's very soon. Thank you so much. One more, just a comment.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
One more question, sorry. Will you have a program for 2.5 years? So just a short answer. Our program starts from the 3 years old. So just wait a little bit. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you so much once again, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.